Businesses today, they're constantly navigating the complexities of digital transformation while striving to enhance efficiency and customer experience. However, this journey is not without its challenges, particularly in areas like order management and accounts payable. Here, precision and speed are crucial. Today, we'll explore how strategic partnerships can drive significant improvements in these domains by leveraging advanced technology and specialized expertise. I'm Scott Leahy, and this is Esker on Air. Joining me today, a couple of familiar voices. First, Esker's VP of Sales in the Americas, Dan Reeve. Hello, Dan.
Scott, good to be back. Thanks for setting this up.
And Senior Strategic Alliance Manager, Jeremy Deuchars.
Good afternoon, Scott.
And we also have a special guest joining us for the first time on the podcast, a key partner of Esker. We have Vice President of Order Management Transformation at Genpact, Sreeni Dhannawada. Hi, Sreeni.
Hey, Scott. Happy to be here with the Esker team.
So before we dive too much into specifically on how partnerships like ours, what we gain, how we help folks, tell us a little bit more about Genpact, if you could, Sreeni, and why is it that enterprises turn to Genpact, and tell us a little bit about the services you provide.
So we, as Genpact, spun out of GE, right, about 20 years ago, focusing on running operations for our customers in order management, invoice to cash, procure to pay, all the domains that you can think of. Then about 10 years ago, we launched, the lean digital capabilities, combining, our digital expertise with strong process experience, right? Since we had a solid foundation built on our operations experience. So currently we are focused on growing our platform-based solutions, and our customers are really looking at us to bring in, the intersection of the domain expertise with, the digital acumen by working with partners like yourself. And we continue to provide services across multiple industries and multiple domains that I called out.
Well, now thinking about the Esker side of things, Jeremy, could you tell us a little bit about the partnership, Esker and Genpact, and how it's benefiting not only the customer, but Esker and Genpact as well?
Yeah, it's a story of a true mutual beneficial two-way street. So Esker, being known historically as a technology player in the AI space, is helping our customer deliver on their business goals, giving them technology as a toolkit for their business users. Where Genpact and the partnership with them comes in is those complementary services, program management, digital transformation thinking, and the ability to work across multiple industries in multiple enterprises to deliver a complete solution, not only the technology arm that Esker offers, but their services that complement the offering, so that you're not just positioning a point tool, but a complete solution.
So you mentioned that combined offering. Can you elaborate a little bit more on really what that combined offering is?
Sure. Yeah. So the Genpact service offering, in terms of what they're able to offer companies out in the market, it is specifically focused on the process improvement, the operational efficiency, and really trying to help the companies they're working with make gains in terms of keeping costs lowered. Where they're leveraging the partnership with Esker is more dedicated to the technology tools that are going to help their operational users, that are going to come into play when their conversations turn to you've fixed the processes, you've improved them as much as you can. Is there more benefit you can get in certain areas of the cash conversion cycle? Yes. Now it's going to come into well, what kind of technology can we offer? And because AI is so prolific in the market today, that's where the benefit for Genpact comes in, but then the benefit for Esker also comes into play where we're able to get deeper into the markets that we're doing well in, but we're also able to work with a wider breadth of business and IT users within these enterprises.
Okay, now obviously with this partnership, there's an eye towards the future. But question, I guess, for you, Dan, how do you see it benefiting those existing Esker customers?
I've seen examples where even myself and some team members worked and deployed or sold projects, and the customers taken the technology, and Esker's sort of delivered the technology, completed the engagement, and then subsequently Alcon has worked with the customer and provided them with even greater efficiency and transformation, greater levels of touchless processing, greater levels of efficiency and automation. And I think the other thing that Genpact offer that benefits both existing customers and any enterprise out there, they may not be doing business with Esker, is Genpact's really good at providing assessments that go in and assess the maturity of the entire invoice to cash process. And that's both the the process from engaging with customers, receiving the order, informing the customer and letting them know what the status is of their order, all the way through to fulfillment. So I think Genpact provides a lot of work and value there, where they engage. Often they'll engage with the C-suite and the financial leaders and say, "This is how you're doing compared to industry best practice and your peers." So there's a lot of value. I think many executives are keen to know, how are we doing? How do we compare? Tell us, where is the low-hanging fruit? Where do we have opportunity? And I see Genpact doing that across both order to cash and order management, invoice to cash. Really the cash conversion cycle, as Jeremy is talking about. Though we should call out that Genpact also play within the procure to pay space. So that has been particularly valuable, well received. It doesn't mean that when Genpact go in, the customer says, "Okay, I need all of that," and they must swallow that and do all of that transformation immediately. But I think it's often an opportunity for the company to say, "Okay, what can we bite off now?"
Okay, now, how do you see this benefiting new customers?
And we've seen this, at least 3 of our customers who may have chosen to automate their processes with Esker, have also subsequently decided that there's value in sort of taking advantage of the operations, the business process outsourcing model that Genpact offer. And the advantage is Genpact know how to operate Esker technology. And therefore, it's not just how we can outsource a process, it's we can outsource a process and supercharge that process, because we've got the people that running the BPO know how to use technology. So not only is it a lower cost operation typically, but it's now a much more efficient operation, because the folks that are running the BPO are experts at both process and technology. It's not just, oh, well, we're folks that run a BPO.
Back to you, Sreeni. Can you talk us through maybe some examples where Esker and Genpact have combined for the benefit of the customer service organization or maybe the finance team?
Sure. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll take 3 very different examples, right, to explain the combined value Genpact and Esker are delivering for our customers. Now the way the 3 examples are going to be different are not just from an industry perspective, because I'm going to pick 3 different industries where we have been successful, but also our model of engagement has been different on each of these 3. So let's get into some details, right? I'll start with a CPG customer, where we were running order management operations already for the customer, and the customer was looking for additional transformational benefits. Right? Once you start running operations after a certain time, the challenge is how do you add more value? Right? Because you've already run operations for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. So then we brought in Esker to deliver faster order cycle times, higher productivity, right? And ensure we continue to offer additional value to the customer because that's what the customer was looking for, right? So that's an example in CPG where we were already running operations. Now, let's go to a life sciences customer example. This was a brand new customer for both Esker and Genpact. So we bid together as part of an RFP, right? So there was a request for a proposal, and we were looking to run operations for the customer. And how do we commit to higher outcomes compared to our competition, right? This was a competitive environment. So partnering with Esker clearly helped us, right? Not only to differentiate ourselves, right, from our competition in terms of value that we are going to commit. So we won the deal, but also the differentiation was on how we could continue to add more value after we got in, right? Once you start delivering value, customer likes, what they're seeing, and then we were able to expand to other business units, right? So this is an example, or this was an example from life sciences where we went together, we got to run operations for the customer and added value. Now, the third and final is from manufacturing, typically considered not so easy when it comes to technology transformation, but we've been successful here too. Now, here again a brand new customer, but we were not planning to run operations. The deal was not structured for Genpact to go in run order management operations. So we went in as a pure digital transformation partner with Esker. So we got in, we were able to provide that additional value that the customer was looking for, and we've been successful there as a digital transformation partner.
And Sreeni, tell us a little bit about the future for Genpact. So just a little bit about what's the vision for your platform-based partnerships.
Sure. See, I think all our organizations are focused on transforming our customers' businesses are at a pivotal stage. What I mean by that is continuously evolving customer needs around faster delivery cycles, reduced costs, at the same time expecting best-in-class customer experience. All of these make it very challenging, right? Not just for Genpact, but for everybody else who's operating in this space. Now, the good news is with the advent of Gen AI, we're able to solve problems faster, more efficiently, and we are also able to solve new problems that had no solutions earlier. The problems have existed for a very long time, but there was no good way of solving them. But now we have. So where am I going with all this? So our vision at Genpact is completely tied to growing our platform-based partnerships. Esker fits right in, right? In collaboration with our process and functional expertise. We are doing all of this to build leading class organizations for our customers, in the order to cash space, procure to pay space. So we really want to bring together our platform-based partnerships with our process and functional expertise, really transform our customers. That's the vision we are looking forward to.
And I think you touched on it just there, Sreeni, with some of those old problems that we can now address. So I'm going to ask you a question, and then when you finish up, Jeremy, hoping you can jump in and answer the same question. But what are those use cases that you're seeing for AI within the customer service and finance space?
For example, in customer service, it's always been a challenge for a customer service agent to be on the phone and real-time answer questions coming in from the customer. Let's say a simple question like, where is my shipment? In the order management space, you have a customer reaching out. It's been 2 days of delay. I haven't seen my shipment. So where is my shipment? Now, for the agent to answer that question, you have to go to multiple screens. Some customers, we have solved the problem. We have brought them onto one screen. But how about a Gen AI driven solution that is already prompting answers, right? So the agent need not go look at multiple systems or say, I will get back to you, which is normally not an option. So that's one example. The other example is moving more into order management when you are looking at something like optimizing your ship truck utilization. You have to cut your orders, a typical CPG industry example. So how do you take those decisions on which orders to combine, which orders to cut, so you're optimizing your ship truck utilization? Now, having these rules built in, as we call them hard-coded rules, helps to some extent. Again, with Gen AI, we are able to generate these rules dynamically. So some of the rules that we could not even think of are coming into play and helping our customers solve for these dynamic problems, which cannot be hard-coded, so to say. So those would be a couple of examples, but there is a long list of use cases that we have created and implementing with our customers. Happy to share more details if there is interest.
I think Sreeni really addresses something that's core to really all organizations out there is that problem statement and really trying to figure out, well, what are the issues? What are the challenges? Everybody knows that they have them. But for example, when somebody from Esker starts to engage with a customer service director or a VP level who's got overarching purview over many departments, they will fully admit, yeah, we have an issue, but we're not quite sure what they are. So it makes an evaluation of technology to solve a problem that they're not really sure what it is very, very difficult. So in working with the Genpact team, what I found is that they're excellent in flushing out the problem statements. And once you know how an organization currently works, what their processes are, and then eventually where they want to get to, that's where you can start plugging in solutions. If you go about it the other way, it's very much putting the cart before the horse. Well, I want to be efficient. I want to solve some problems. Well, but you don't know what they are and you don't know why you want to be efficient. So let's take a step back and really start to dig into what you're doing now and what's the evolution of taking care of your customers. What's the evolution of being a better partner to the vendors that you work with. So now you're traversing many departments within an organization. And it's not just customer service, it's also supply chain and how does that entire process feed into a company's overall financial health. So I think the biggest thing that we see is looking at use cases on a macro level, but then really digging into how can you start to work away at some of the problems where you don't have to butt off the entire apple, but you can start to take small steps toward a greater goal. And one use case in particular that we found is a customer service department globally not really knowing how the work is being divided, who's taking care of what. So that centralization, the visibility, that's something where, again, everybody knows that people are working, they're doing their jobs, but they don't know how they're spending their day. And once you illuminate that issue, now you can start to say, okay, how do we broaden the visibility? How do we help you divide up your work? And ultimately what that leads to is the customers being taken care of in a more efficient, effective way where they think, okay, I don't need to go to this company's competitor. They know exactly what I need. I feel like I'm getting the attention, so I'm going to stick with these guys.
So Dan, back to you. I know that Genpact and Esker are both going to be at Dreamforce. Is there anything you can tell us? Maybe give us a little preview of how that should play out?
Yeah, so Sreeni and I and others will both be there. Obviously, there'll be a significant presence there from Genpact. They're very, very strong. They have a dedicated Salesforce practice. So what we see is, when it comes to CRM, the leading CRM in the world is Salesforce. And probably I could say the majority of our customers use Salesforce. Not all of them, but the majority do. And I think what we can agree on, whether an enterprise is using Esker or Esker with Genpact, is that most of those companies are looking to leverage or maximize their investment in the ERP and in their CRM. And the companies are looking to use technology to free up the people in customer service or supply chain or operations to go and be rock stars, to make a difference, to get to know the customer better, so that, as Jeremy was talking about, you get more business through that relationship, not less, because people are leaving because they're frustrated. And I think the type of conversations we'll be getting in, there'll be some joint customers speaking. I think Sreeni has 2 or 3 joint customers there. I think a lot of the conversations will be, what happens when I get questions and inquiries? Clearly, we want to track the amount of time and the effort that happens with answering questions, dealing with entering sales orders, fixing and resolving issues and disputes. The expectation we see from both customers and business stakeholders is, okay, how do I take advantage of a variety of technology, be it Transformer, ChatGPT, AI, Gen AI, so that when a customer places an order, do we know that customer already? Do we know their buying behaviors? Do we know that they often say an order is this description or this part number, and it's not quite accurate, but we know what they mean. Okay, right. Okay, the order comes in, but you know what? We've got some allocation rules because we only have so much stock available. Right. How do we make sure that we take advantage of our allocation rules and get the stock without upsetting other customers or our supply chain planning? Increasingly, folks are looking to try and free their people up, and if there's, most companies have got a catalog or detailed product specs. Okay, how do we arm the customer service team with automatic responses that they can see and they can follow, so as to educate and arm the customer and increase the likelihood that they actually do place an order and repeat business? So I think there'll be a lot of question about, okay, how does that technology combined with automation of orders tie in with Salesforce? And I have no doubt that Genpact will have a lot of answers there, and will lead a lot of discussions around that, because that's the trend we see. Folks trying to take AI, ChatGPT, the use of generative AI to the next level in a safe manner that again helps them differentiate over their competition.
Okay, getting towards the end of the conversation here. So for the newest arrival on the podcast here, Sreeni, how can folks get in touch with you?
Oh, that should be easy. So Scott, I'll leave my contact details with you. Please feel free to publish them as part of the podcast.
Sure thing. Well, Sreeni, thanks again for joining us today. It is very much appreciated.
Oh, it was a pleasure interacting with the team that I have known for years in a different setting.
Great. Sreeni, thanks a lot. Scott, thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Dan. Thanks,
Cheers.
Sreeni. Thanks, Scott.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye.